Welcome to episode 810. Doug Leone, venture capitalist king of the world at age 63. This is an outline of episode 810. There are two reasons we study Doug Leone. First, he's the leader at Sequoia Capital in 2020, responsible for $250 billion in tech investment. Second, he arrived in New York from Italy at the age of 11 and earned 3 degrees from Cornell, Columbia, and MIT.
We live in a world of accelerating change. You have to be willing to experiment. You have to be willing to fail quickly. You have to be willing to kill things that don't work. What all this means is that you have to embed in your culture, the culture of your company, a risk-taking attitude where you take a lot of little risk. No big risk is worth risk in the franchise, risk in the company. But if your employees and your partners are incentivized to take smart risk, try new things, that is only going to serve you well. Don't go by the adage, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Because you have to realize in a dynamic world, everybody else around you is trying to break it for you. Everybody else around you is trying to take your slot. And the other thing, don't assume that what worked yesterday and what's working today is going to work tomorrow.
Doug Leone was born in Genoa, Italy in 1957. He arrived in New York at the age of 11. Not speaking much English.
As I look back, that was quite formative. Being an only child, lots of love around my family, no means, but lots of love. And that was a blessing. But a pretty rough high school, 3 or 4 years. You know, the high school years are tender years. It's the first time that girls come into play and so on.
In high school, they call him Pasta. In 1979, he earned a Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering from Cornell University. In 1986, he earned a Master in Industrial Engineering from Columbia University. In 1988, he earned a Master of Science in Management from MIT. He was 31. He joined Sequoia Capital in 1988 and became a managing partner in 1996.
Back in 1988, the typical founder was a 45-year-old middle manager, maybe an engineer, who had started a fund who thought he knew everything. And so it was a different set of rules. But now you're investing in a 22, 23-year-old founders, in many cases, a 19-year-old founders. And you want to save that founder in either a CEO role, a VP of product roles, or a very important technical role. And that is possible to actually do with a 22, 23-year-old founder.
At age 55, Doug Leone became the de facto leader of Sequoia Capital after the other leader, Mike Moritz, contracted a rare kind of cancer. I have done 2 episodes on Mike Moritz here, episode 518 and 519. Please watch. First thing Doug Leone did was to start from zero. In fact, the Sequoia Capital was number 1. It means nothing.
Break it, because you know there are some competitors out there who are looking at you from the outside and are trying to put you out of business. So the last thing we've done in the last 4 or 5 months, we've taken all the posters down. We had all these posters, 200 IPOs, 20% of the NASDAQ, blah, blah, blah. Take them all off the walls.
Sequoia Capital remained the leader in VC because Doug Leone led them into China, India, and Israel.
We went into China, we went into India because we asked ourselves the question, where are the most valuable companies going to come from in the next 20 years? It was no longer clear they would come from the US. So we went into India and China, and we did it in a decentralized fashion. We met some people over a period of 90 days, and we told them, we'd like you to be Sequoia Capital China. You make all the decisions, not us. No other firm has done that. So
now, the secrets of his success, the 3 most important things.
It's vision, it's execution, and it's culture. You only have vision, and you get called a visionary. That's the only thing you have. You can't execute.
You only execute, you're called a manager. If you're lucky, you're called an executive. And if you set up a lousy culture, then you're called an asshole. I'm serious. And so let me drill down on that. Vision comes from clarity of thought and courage and conviction, because things are not quite linear. Through my experience, execution, because I don't think I'm very special, is looking in the mirror first and figuring out what you're good at and what you're not good at. And be really truthful, blatantly and coldly truth about that. And then to hire a wonderful team around you that not only compliments you, but to which you're willing to listen. Then execution means one more thing: singularity of purpose. And notice the words I've used: singularity, meaning we're going to do not those four things, but the real tough things for an executive is to do the one thing. Because if you get that right, it's the tip of the arrow of the whole company. And it turns out that, to me, culture is the most important thing. Culture is the fabric that holds you together. So you have to lead by example, and you have to make sure that you really embed this culture in the actions of all your employees, which really means at the end of the day, they're going to do what you want them to do, what you would expect them to do, and if you're lucky, even more than what you expect them to do, because they have completely bought it.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and leave your questions and comments below. My next video will be Doug Leone 10 Lessons. Wishing everyone peace and prosperity.